and then I'll log in into the server. So the client is 600. So the video will not, I don't want the video to be lengthy. So I'm targeting 1 hour. Let's see, this is just 128. Let's see how far we can go. The video will be very fast in some, we'll cut off some certain explanation and be very fast with the configuration part. So like we know that the structure or setting up a system, especially financial accounting, starts from enterprise structure, financial global setting, accounts payable, account receivable, and asset accounting. These are the major structure. So we'll just start. So I'll go to the environment. So I'll quickly go to enterprise structure, definition, financial accounting. So I won't define a company because what a company does is more of if you are doing more of a grouping, if you are doing like if you are doing consolidated grouping company, like what do I mean? In literal term, Dangote is a group, right? And Dangote has different company under Dangote Group. So for consolidation purposes, so Dangote Group can be created as a company and then create the respective companies as company code on SAP system. And then you can now assign those company code to Dangote Group as a company. So let's take a sample of it. Let's say if I company. So I'll click new entry and then I will say, let me say down DA01. I hope it hasn't been created. I'll use DA01 as the company code, right? Or let me say DA00. I'll say Dangote Group, right? I'll copy this. The street number, I'll just say Lagos. PO box, I'll just say 999 something. I'll leave all these other long-term sheet. NG, I'll use Nigeria. And then language, I'll say EN. EN is for English. Currency, I'll say NGN. I'll use NGN as the currency, right? I'll save it. I'll use Ctrl S or I click on this tab. Like I said, I'll be very fast with this video. Okay, so let me just create a new transport request, and then I can say Dangote company setup. Company setup. So don't mind my typing something set up. I'll just go ahead and save it. So that's for Dangote Group as a company. But now I need to go and create a company code, right? So I'll just quickly click on company code. So I'll click on edit company code. And then someone is here. So what I'll do is to take out this person on the screen. So I'll close this. I'll open another screen. SN12. And then I'll put the person stuff here or search. I'm being fast, I know, but you just need to follow along. I'll just delete it so that it doesn't go out of my screen. Because this system we are using is a open source system, so people are using it. Many other persons are using it, so that's why this that's why there's confusion. Rather, that's why there's confusion. Some persons could be in my screen or relatable screens that are connected to my screens. If they are there, it will also say somebody is on that screen. So that's what I'm trying to do here. It's taking longer than expected. So I'll still go back and see if that's gone through. I think the network is becoming another issue that could let this video be a little bit is the what do you call it? The network. The network is fine, all things being equal, will not have issues. Okay, good. So I'll click new entry and I'll just say DA01 as Dangote. I'll use DA01. Okay, fine. Nobody else uses this. I'll say Dangote sugar. Can you see what I'm doing here? Dangote sugar. Sugar, right? Sugar. So this is fine. So country, NG, Nigeria, right? Currency, I'll say NGN because they operate in Nigeria. Then language, I'll say EN because English. Upon clicking on save, the system will throw me a dialog where I can further continue to put my, oh God, Dangote sugar. All right. Search them, I'll say Dangote. Street number, I'll just say I think their sugar company is maybe Sokoto or something. I don't know. Sokoto Street. Okay. Number, I'll say 22. Postal code, I'll say 1111 something. City, I'll say maybe Sokoto. Country, NG, Sokoto. Let's see. Sokoto. Yes, good. I'll just leave every other parameter. I'll click on this green check mark, and then I'll go ahead and save it on the previous transports that I created. So, sure this should be fine. Okay, this person has even gone to its windows. Okay. I just want to open another system down so that if anything, I can always switch. So we have created a company code. That's what we are doing here. We have created a company code. The moment the system allows us to go through, because it's just a server thing, the moment we're able to save it, we'll be able to say we have created a company code. So, like I said, I don't know if it will be proper for me to start writing. So if I say A, so say A enterprise structure. I do not think I want to do this, but let's see. Enterprise structure. We have defined a company, define a company. We have defined a company code, right? These are the two things. Oh shit. Okay. These are the two things we have defined. So in order to give it like so we'll do it this way. Like I said, things we'll look at financial accounting global setting, accounting global set. Okay. Right. And then I'll say C. So C, I'll say accounts payable and accounts receivable. Receivables, right? Okay, this can also be in capital letter. So these are you can structure your stuff anyways. So the last one should be asset accounting. These are the things I'll be talking about. So I'll be talking about bank accounting. I'll just treat them. So this is fine. Now let's go back to our SAP system. Okay, now I think we've been able to create DA01 as what company code, right? The company code is DA01, right? So let's put that here as a company code, right? Good. So now let's go back. Let's go back. We've created our company, we've created our company code. I'll close this dialog. And then you need to also define credit control, right? You need to define credit control area. So I'll just click on it. I could just copy. Let me just copy this one. Let me copy it. And then I'll just name it DA01, right? NGN, NGN. And I'll do nothing on all of this. I'll do nothing. I'll just click enter on my keyboard. And then I'll change this to credit control area for Dangote, right? So I'll go inside. So what does credit control does? I've explained it before. I've explained it before in maybe some other videos. So what it does is that what they use credit control is to control the credit exposure of every customer, right? You use it to control credit exposure of every customer. If you go inside, you see that there is risk category, credit limit, and all those, but we are not doing that. It's old, it's out of fashion actually. This use of using this central way of doing credit control is not fashionable any longer. So if you want to do credit control, so there's a module under, I think it's SCM, if I'm correct. There's a module under SCM where you talk about customer credit exposure and all those things. So there is a business partner rule for credit management and all those things for customer. I think that's is now also domiciled partially in SD module, which is sales and distribution module, but that's not what we want to talk about on this video. So I think we have saved this. So before happens, I think I just yes, we have saved this. So we've created credit control. Like I said, I'll be very, very fast. Right. So now other things like business area, I won't do anything on business area. Business area are just like your location, different places where you have businesses, right? So I won't do anything on it. Maintain FM area, these are things I won't do anything on this part. I just quickly go straight to assignment, because whatever you have created, you have to assign to company code. So assign company code to company. So we've created a group, which is company, right? We need to assign it. So DA01 is the company code, right? Okay. Then DA00 is the company. Dangote Group. Can you see? This is how you can connect your company code to your group, right? So we'll go assign company code to credit control. The credit control we created, you need to assign it to your company code, right? And that's what we're doing. I'm using position to look for my company code so that it's faster. And DA01 is also used for my credit control area. So I'll just save it. It's as swift as simple as that. So I'll go outside. See, all of these other things I will not do because I've not defined financial management area, which is fund management. Neither have I. So I won't do anything on this part. I'll just assume I'm done on under enterprise structure, right? I'll just quickly go to financial accounting where you talk about financial global setting, right? And assign it. Let me just say assignment of company to COCD, credit control 2, credit control, TR, and which other one? I think these are just we did. Credit control, that's okay, fine. So now we'll go to financial accounting global setting, right? Under financial accounting global setting, the major thing we'll be looking at here, so let's start first. So under ledger, before I go to ledger, let me leave this ledger, I'll come back to ledger, right? Let me leave ledger. Let me let me expand this ledger. So I'll just show you. So under this field, there's something called fee status variance, right? Define fee status variant. So this fee status variant, what does it do? I've explained in a different video too. Fee status variant is just like 4 numeric keywords, but under it you have fee status group. This fee status group is what you assign on your GLs when you are creating respective GLs. That's what you do. When you are creating respective GLs, you assign it to those GLs. And what does it do? It controls whenever you are using that GL. So whenever you are using that GL, it controls the behavior of those GLs when you are posting. So all of these are filled on SAP. These are filled. All of these things are filled, right? They are filled. So when you're posting a transaction, let's say MB50, those filled on when you're using that specific GL, the fee status group on that GL will serve as a control to that GL. That's what it means. But maybe I'll just do a sample. I'll copy it, copy this one. So I'll just say DA01 is the company code. I'll just say fee status for Dangote, right? I'll click enter on my keyboard. The dialog will come, copy all. Click on copy all, and then 51 items have been copied. Click on this, and then I'll click on this fee status group. Automatically, when I copy it, the fee status group will be copied alongside it. So if you want to correct it, if you want to make it unique to your company code, what you can do is to select this, copy it, and then change the stuff. Let's say DA27, right? DA27 is what the business has said it wants, the nomenclature of every fee status group, right? If you double click on this fee status group, this is where you see some of the control on your general data, account assignments and all that, taxes and all that. So this is where you can make some certain control. So on commitment item, you can say commitment item should be required or suppressed. So what this means is that whenever you are posting a transaction on that GL that you have assigned this fee status group to, you are saying that this should be required, or this should be suppressed, or this field should be suppressed, this field should be required, or this field should be optional entry. That's just what this thing does, right? I'll just go back, and if you want to understand these fee status things, you can check my other videos, and I'll just save it. I'll go ahead and save. So I'll go back. I'll go outside. So this has been created. We have created a fee status variant. We need to also assign it to a company code, right? Let me see if I can just start doing this. Okay, we need to do assignment. We need to do assignment to company code. So I'll quickly just do position, DA, and then I'll assign the fee status, which is also DA01. I'll save it. I'll enter on my keyboard. That's done, right? And then so on fee status, this is done. On fee status, I'm done on that part, right? So I'll close this feed. So let me open it again and see if there are other things. I think we're fine here. We're fine on this feed. So there's something called ledger. So I've explained this in other video too. So this ledger, this is where you create currency types. This is where you talk about leading ledger, extended ledger, whatever ledger that you want, right? But before I go to ledger, what I'll just quickly do is come to fiscal year variant. Before I go to ledger, I'll leave this ledger, I'll come back. Let me go to fiscal year variant, and I'll tell you the reason why I left this ledger and then come back to it. Maintain fiscal year variant. I do not need to maintain any new fiscal year. Already, the system already has some pre-configured fiscal year, like K4 and whatever and all that. So K4 is simply January to December with 4 special period, right? That's what K4 means. Now, assign company code to fiscal. What I will just do here is to assign the company code to the fiscal year variance, right? I'll go ahead and then find my company code, which is DA, and then assign K4, right? Assigning K4. Okay, K4. So like I said, you can see January to December with 4 special period. So that's what K4 means. So you are indicating or telling the system that whenever my company code is in use, you should use January to December fiscal year, meaning January to December fiscal year and for special period. In some countries, their fiscal year, calendar year does not start from January to December. Some start from April to June or June to April. That's the way it works in some other countries. But because we're in Nigeria, the fiscal year or the calendar year is January to December with 4 special period. The 4 special period are actually there for you to do some probably maybe adjustment entry and all those and all that. So that's what that does. So what have we done here? Financial global set and company code. So we have been able to do fiscal year assignment to company code to do COCD. Let me just say COCD. Just do that. And that's done. Go back. Now, posting period. Now we need to also do posting period. So posting period, first let me expand this fiscal year posting period. And now posting period variant. The first thing you need to do is to define your posting period variant, right? The variant is just, you already understand this part. I don't need to really do much here. I'll just click on new entry. I'll just say DA01. It's a simple screen. It's a posting period for Dangote, right? I'll save it. I'll just go ahead. So then we have defined the variants. Now we need to assign the variants to company code. You see, whatever we are doing, we are assigning it to company code, right? Sure you've seen the workings, the way it works. So the variants, I'll just save it. I'll go ahead and save. So what have we done? We've defined variants, defining posting period variants, and we have assigned posting period variants. So since COCD, right? Sorry. And now the one we also do is open and close posting period, right? These are things we do. If you don't do all of these, see, these are, so I'm not doing testing, right? I'm just doing configurations to ensure that all things are done in the system. So open and close posting period is the next thing I need to do. So instead of putting my variant, I won't put my variant, I'll just say maintain all. I'll say maintain all, and someone is there, right? Let me give the person the benefit of doubt before I come back, make the person remove. So what I'll do is just to, okay, let me go back. Let me go back. Let me open another screen. Someone is actually on that screen, and so I'm unable to do stuff. So I'll search and then take out the person on the screen. But because I can't identify the specific screen, okay, just one screen, I'll just delete it. If I go back to that screen now, I should be able to open and close posting period. Okay, I'll just click maintain all. I'll just select these ones. I'll select this. I've been able to explain this part before too. I'll just copy as. Now, the posting, because of time constraint, what I'll just do is to say my posting period variant is DA01. DA01, right? I'll copy it and just I'll paste it on that part. So, I've copied these variants. This is not my variant. So I'll paste it on this so that it will override the variants. Now, I've explained what is plus, what is A before. A is asset, D is customer, vendor, material management, GL. Plus is for all entry. And if you want to see that, you can go inside and see what it means. Valid for all account types. That's what plus is meant for. Now, we are in January. This is January 2025. December, that's what ref means. January 2025, and posting period 13 like that. This is the structure, right? This is saying that from all of the accounts, because you can't specify respective GL accounts or whatever. You just say this, you make it empty, and then you put this Z, 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 Z. So identify that this is, So I'll click on copy, and then it's the same telling me number of entries copy is 6. I'll just click on save. I'm using Control S to save already on my keyboard. So I'm done. I've been able to do this. Now, what does this thing do? What this does is that, so if you want to do for a specific, what do you call it, variance, you can only put this and just, you see. I think that's that. I think you already know what this posting closing period does. I don't need to explain much on that. So I'll go back to my ledger now. The reason why so let me just go inside, define settings for ledger and currency types. Now, this screen is a very sensitive screen because a lot of things are done on this screen. For example, you have your currency type. For example, your company may want a different currency type, right? There are some businesses who are like, they want a specific currency and all that. But SAP already have predefined currency types like almost 7 or 8. So for me, I do not see reason why companies, but there are some companies that may want additional currency types. So you can go ahead and create another additional currency type for them. But in our case, we're not creating any additional currency types. The currency types that I mean is that one, we have currency type 10. 10 is for company code currency, right? We have 20. 20 is most time controlling area currency. We have 30. We have 40. 40 is add currency. 50 is index-based currency. 60 is I can't 60 is maybe global currency and all that. And all these currencies are found in different pockets, right? They are found in different places. Now, for company, the company currency, if you create your company, there's a currency field in that place. It has its own currency type. If you go to company code currency too, that place where you see currency, it's a currency type too. If you go to your country, under your country, we have a currency type, and all this explanation, I've done that in a different video, right? So I'll not be explaining much on this currency type. I was just doing that because of the network and the server. So we have currency type, we have global currency, currency conversion setting. All this explanation I've done in a different video. I think I've also explained this part. I don't want to waste much time on this screen. All I just need to do is to click on leading ledger and click on company code settings for ledger. That's what I'm doing. I'll click on this company code settings for ledger, right? And this is where I will need to map. So why I left this screen first and went to the other screen to other configuration like fiscal year, posting period is because the moment you create your fiscal year and you have assigned it to your company code, it will automatically flow to this place, right? Same goes to accounting principle, right? So you can see the screen is lagging, is dragging, is because of how sensitive this screen is. So what we have created, you'll see it on this screen now. The assignment we did to a company code, we have come to this screen. The company code is DA01. Can you see this? So our company code is 10 because if I go inside, you see what I mean. 10 is company code currency. Can you see that? So I'll just go. And then you see this fiscal event, we have not done it. It flows to this place automatically. If I'd come to this screen earlier, you won't be able to. For example, now this accounting principle is empty because we have not assigned accounting principle to this screen. So what we'll do is to select the company code and click on accounting principle. I understand. I know what I'm sure you know what accounting principle means. Accounting principle is just the principle or the lay down guidelines for companies to follow in ensuring that the accounts report properly or in a standardized manner, right? We have IFRS, we have GAAP. So I'll just click on new entry and then I'll look for IFRS. So this stuff, you can actually create it for yourself too. But because it's already in the system, I do not need to create anyone. So IFRS is a global reporting standard. So I'll just save it. But you can actually create one. You can create an accounting principle. Imagine if you are in a system but most system will come with a configures item like IFRS, GAAP, and all that, So local GAAP and all. So I'm not doing that. I'm just assigning my accounting principle to my company code. That's all I will do on the screen. I'll save it and then move to the next configuration. So I've lost track of this stuff I'm putting down here. I know we did open and close posting period, assignment of ledger to company. Sorry, ledger to company code, COCD. Let me see, assignments of accounting principle. Sorry, principle to COCD. And let me see, and leading ledger 0. zero, right? That's what we've done here. Okay, I'll go back to SAP and see what's happening there. So this is fine. I'll just go ahead and save. Okay, let me explain this. There are other things we do under financial accounting global setting. So let's see the system is lagging. So, however, I will just go ahead and talk. So after this particular screen, the next thing I want to do is tax, tax supply, supplier and customer tax, or tax on sales. Let me go to tax on sales, sales and supplier, right? So yeah, okay. So there's tax on sales and suppliers. This tax is simply denoting your VAT. That's what it means. You have your input VAT, you have your output VAT, right? You have input VAT, you have output VAT. So input VAT is the VAT you take at the point of the VAT you see on suppliers, like supplier invoice, and output tax. Yeah, output tax is the tax you see on customer invoice, right? So that is that on this part. So I'll go out on this screen and come back. Okay, so I'll just quickly go to my financial accounting again, system accounts, financial accounting global setting, then I'll come to this place. But before I come to this tax on sales and purchase, right, I think I need to also, let me come here and do the, so document, I need to say something on documents. So there's something called document type, right? So document type are predefined as per SAP standard. We have a lot of document type like SA, KR, just like you can see on my screen like this, SA, DC, KR, KZ, AE, and all that and all that, right? So there is one I will just, let's say SA. SA is a common document type for GL accounting. If you double click inside, you see the number range, a number range that been assigned to document type. So oftentimes, number range will be assigned to the document type. That's just the way it works here. You assign number range to a document type. If you want to create a new one for yourself, you can always create a new one for yourself. Sometimes some businesses will require a specific document type for a specific transaction. So you can create a new one for yourself. So you have number range 01 already. So I just want you to take note of that. So 01. So we'll not do any new what you call document type. We'll just use the predefined standard default document type that we have in the system. So that's to tell you on the document side. There's also another something called posting keys. So posting keys are also default posting numeric or your numeric word or character, right? That you can use to denote the type of transaction or the nature of transaction, right? So I also need to tell you that on this what do you call it? Posting key. There's also a fee status on this posting key. I think I'll do a video on this field or the control objects on respective control elements on different objects like posting key, like your account grouping, like your fee status grouping, like your what again vendor grouping, supplier grouping, respective field controls in the system. I'll do a video on this, but I won't bore you much on this particular part now. So I'll just go outside, I'll go outside. So that's what I'm just trying to tell you is that we already have default what they call it setup for posting keys. So 40 is for debit of GL, 50 is for credit of GL, 70 is for debit of assets, and 5 is for credit of assets. So these are posting key with some objects already, underlying objects that you and I may not want to stress ourselves in discovering. So I'll just leave this as that. So that's for that. Then there's something called tolerance group. So you need to define one. Let's define tolerance group. So if you don't define, SAP wants you to define a tolerance for employee, right? They for users or employee, people who are using the system, right? What it means is that whenever you are posting, so I'll just copy one of these and then name it. So I'll use company code DA01, which is my company code, right? So this is, I'll leave all of this. Let me just take stuff. These are tolerances that someone has defined in the system. I'll just leave this. I'll leave this too. I'll click enter on my keyboard. I'll click it to see what was done. Okay, this is it. So what tolerance does is that what you are specifying here, you are indicating that so particular user should not be able to post more than 1 million or 1 billion per document, right? Or per line item. That's what all of this is doing. This is like a control for respective users. So I'll just go ahead. You just need to, SAP wants you because SAP had already written their codes, written their programs, and the way it was written, They don't want to just stop it. They just want to let it be like that. So that's for that. So you can create different tolerance and then assign it to users, to respective users. That's what this assignment means. So I won't do much here. I'll just leave this. Um, there are some other things on this document side, but that will not be discussion for this video. So that's for tolerance. I think I've talked about that, but I need to also let me just indicate it here. I've missed some things, but I'm sure you'll be able to take note of that. So documents. Okay, let's leave documents and go to tax, right? So tax on sales and purchases, right? So the first thing you need to do when you come to a system, so you first need to want to check if there's a calculation procedure. So check calculation procedure, define procedure. So because this system has been used many times by different users, I'm sure they might have created a tax procedure already for Nigeria. So you need to create a tax procedure for Nigeria. What it simply means is how do you want to structure your tax, what do you call it in Nigeria? In Nigeria, we have a lot of taxes, but the major ones are your input tax and your output tax. Those are the major taxes we take on every invoice, right? Right? So this is the structure. So what we have here is just a brief structure to explain how this procedure works. So you have 100 here. All these hundreds is these steps. What these steps simply means is like your serial number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's what it simply means, right? Now you have a BASB. BASB is a condition. Is a condition that have been created before now. You can also create one for yourself. For base amount. What this base amount means is that your unit price. That's what base amount means, your unit price, right? So if I have to explain what in this categorical term, so what I'll do is base amounts, right, which is also, like I said, slash unit price. So I have this, which is 100. Well, let me say 1,000, right? Okay. So it is 10,000. Let me just remove 10 so that the numbers are not much. So we have 1,000 and you have your VAT. Let's say impute VAT. Impute VAT, right? You have VAT. In Nigeria, VAT is still 7.5, so we can say 7.5%. So how you do it is that you have, okay, let me just go ahead and do something. So 7.5% is 0.05, 0.075. Yeah, you times it against this to give you the amount, the VAT amount. This is 75. 75 is the VAT amount to this 1,000 now, right? Now, the gross amount, now what you see on your invoice, gross amount, right? Gross amount will be, which is this plus this, right? Which will give you 1,075, right? Okay. Now, if you are, especially when you are a big company and you are acting like an agent to the Federal Government Tax Authority, or you call it IFR, Federal Inland Revenue Service, right? So you are mandated to take VAT and also withhold, uh, uh, take WHT, which is withholding tax, right? So let's say deducts. Let's just take it as deducts, 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 VAT. Let's say deduct VAT. Let's just take this VAT because we are deducting it. Let's say deducts withholding tax, WHT, right? And then we say WHT is plus 0.05. In some cases, it could be 0.02, 2%, 5%, 10%. It depends on the nature of transactions, right? I don't need to explain this. The accountant, the tax accountant knows all of this. 0.05 times your base amount. You can see this deduct is based on the base amount, which is unit price. Your tax is based on the unit price, the base amount, right? Now your net payment will be what? Your net payable, right? It will be this minus this, right? So you are paying 950. That's what you are paying to the vendor or the supplier. That's if you're like an agent to FIR of Federal Inland Revenue, right? So that's what we meant by that. So I'll go back to the SAP screen. So what we are saying here is that 100, you see, we are saying subject this 200, this output tax to 100. That's what we can say from 100. That is, calculate your tax from base amount. That's what this thing is doing from base amount. Now you also see something like account key here. So this account key is simply your VAT and this is output VAT. So let's check the VST. Let's go inside system and check just to show you what it means. So what I'll do, let me filter it. Let's see VST, right? Okay, I'm not seeing it. Okay, I need filter. So let me find it. Let me see, find the work. VST. I'm not getting anything. What's up? Okay, let me just check. The so one minute only check. What was wrong? Okay. Let me see. What's happened? Okay. Sorry, I'm taking the wrong. Sorry, I'm taking the wrong account. The wrong column rather. Ah, what's happened? Account key. Sorry, was missing. Sorry, let me see what's happening. So just hold on. Either I'm taking the wrong column. Let me go again. Account skills. Or let me just do Control F. So this, university. Ah, what's happening? Okay, let me just do something just for doing something sake. VS. It's not coming up. So I don't know why, but I'm doing something wrong. Let me see. Let me look at it carefully. They're not much, but I don't know why. Let me see them. So it's just to show you what it means in accessing. I already know what it is, but just to show you so that you are aware of what it is. It's VS. The VS is input VAT. That's the account key. Input VAT. I don't know why I'm not seeing this. Uh, Why it's not coming? But or maybe because I'm in next and it's taking my time now already. So you can, out of your layer time, you can go into system and check. Yes, it's simple as account key. It's an account key for looking for it. So I wouldn't want to watch this. If it's not there, the system will even tell you that it's not there. So what's the system saying here? Okay, because I selected it, that's why the system is showing this. So fine. If this VST doesn't exist, it would have tell you that it doesn't exist. So I don't want to really bore myself around looking for it. So that's that for what is called fast procedure. Like I said, if you don't have it on your system, you can create one and then assign it. You have to assign it to a company code after defining it, right? You have to assign it to country. So you see, assign country region to calculation procedure. If you don't do this, the system will throw in an error when you are posting a transaction. So the country is NG, and then you see a tax engine, which is the procedure that we just created, right? So this is denoting that whenever you are posting a transaction that in Nigeria, this procedure is what you should use. That's what that thing is, right? So that's for this. So we go to calculation. Calculation is where you need to define the tax code, right? So already there are, so you need to put your country here. I only need to create one. Okay. Okay. This V7, let's just say V7. We'll now say 7.5. Okay, I'll just use this description. Tax input, tax type will be input VAT, you can see, input VAT, which is input tax, right? And then you just click on this green check mark. That's all. And then you put your percentage, which is 0.5. That's all on this, and you see it. You can see the procedure we just created, that thing that came up, is amount output input. So you can see that. So I'll just save it, and you have created a task code. That's as simple as that. And you have also indicated the percentage that you should take. That's all as for this. Now, the other thing you may want to know is the posting, right? So define task accounts. So you may want to assign an account so that tax are not taken, it should be automatically. So whenever you are posting this, whenever you are posting a transaction that require input value or output value, it will be automatically picked. The GL that the value should flow into will be automatically selected if you do this. But I won't really do anything much here. All you just need to do, like I said, just need to come to rules. You come to rules. You come to rules. So what you can do, right, is to first of all look for your transaction type. Let's say position. I'm positioning. I'm clicking on VST now, right? So there's no VST here, and I know why. So, but let's assume that VST is not here. VST is not here, and I know why VST is not here. Simple because we have suppressed VST And that's why we're not seeing it here. Assuming there's VST here, I don't want to show you where we did this suppression here, but I can just still show you anyway. So we'll select this. Now let me just show you so I can just see. So if you come to your basic setting, you come to check and change setting for tax processing, right? Then look for VST. Can you see this VST include tax? Can you see that? That's what I wanted to show you on the other side. Now, we said distribute relevant expenses. There's a reason for this, right? I'll change it and then I'll go back to that screen so that you can see it. I'll save it and then go back. I'm taking longer on this video already now. So define tax account. So on defining tax accounts, I'll come here again, look for that VST. Because you are saying whenever I'm posting input VAT, that's what you are doing here. You say this is input VAT. The condition should be what? 40 for debits and 50 for credit. You select it and you select accounts. You need to also put your chart of accounts. And mind you, we have not created any chart of accounts. The moment you put your chart of account, it will allow you to put what? To put a GL, right? We don't have one, and that's why I will not do anything on it because we have not created a chart of accounts. Chart of accounts is meant for GL structure, so I have not done anything on it. So I'll just leave it. But let me see if something. Okay, I don't know the chart of accounts of this company. Gosh, let me just leave this. I actually want us to show us one. I don't have. So that's to show us what. That's by the way. So I think I've been able to explain what this defined tax account does, right? You select your tax account key, which is VST, and then you indicate the rule, which is 40 for debits, and you need to save the rule first, and then you click on the account to assign the GL, right? So that's for this. So that's that, right? So the other one is withholding tax, which I'll just explain it. I won't really do anything here. I'll just explain it. Now, withholding tax is an extended tax, and like we know in Nigeria, withholding tax is just like an advanced tax, right? If you take withholding tax on a vendor and you remit to government, you use the withholding tax to net off your tax credits, right? When I mean tax credit, meaning corporate income tax, right? That's what you use that advanced tax called withholding tax to do, right? So I won't dwell much on it. So how does SAP what enablement does SAP create or has SAP created to make us also achieve that kind of process? We'll come to extended withholding tax. And then that's where you now do some basic configuration. Now, I'll just show us one, just a few ones. So you come to calculation, you see something called withholding tax type, right? So, and then withholding tax type are of two types, which is invoice and payments. What this thing means that are you taking withholding tax at the point of payment or at the point of invoice? In Nigeria, payment tax is due at the point of payment. So what we do is we create configuration at the point of payment. Then you click on this and then put your country and then you come to this place. So this is W2. W2 has been created, which meaning 2% withholding tax. I'll double click it to just see what was done. So you put your W2 here, you put your description. You also indicate how you want the withholding tax to be calculated. You want it to be calculated on net amount or you want it to be calculated on gross amount of an invoice. But it's net amount. You can't calculate that. If you calculate that based on gross amount, then it means that there's a component of VAT in that amount, and then you are taking tax, withholding tax on it today. Just take your tax on the base unit or the base amount, which is the unit price, which is net. That's what this thing does. And then you click on post. So these are basic configuration. I don't want to dwell much time on it. So we have created withholding tax type, and then the next thing we need to do is to go to withholding tax code and define our tax code. In the tax code is where you put the percentage, right? And assign it to the withholding tax type. You can see withholding tax type, withholding tax code, and this. So let me click on W2. Now, W2, you see what has happened here. If you are creating it, you see withholding tax type, which is W2, and then you put your withholding tax code, you put your description, then you now say 100%. Why are we saying 100% here? We are saying 100%. We are saying that the system should subject the tax, the amount, which is the base amount, which is the unit price, on 100%, not 90% or not 85%, 100% amount. That's what this thing is doing here. You may not really understand this, but when you find your system in a system and then the business is telling you that take 99% tax on whatever, then it will confuse you. But that's what this thing is doing. It's saying subject the withholding tax on 100% of the net of the base amount. That's what this thing is doing. Now the rate is 2%. You are saying your calculation rate should be what? Should be 2%. That's what it's also doing. And then your post indication. So that's just the basic configuration around withholding tax. And then you need to also, um, let me go to company code. You need to also assign withholding tax to company code. Like I said, for everything you are doing, you have to assign. So let's check one company, our company code is DA01. So let's assign, okay, there's none. So what we'll do is to click on new entry, and then we'll put our company code AD01, DA01, right? Then British Sugar. Then we turn it task type, let's say W2, which we assume we have created, right? This W2 is bringing something else. W, let's see. But let me just put W2. Let me put W2. Then you will need to click on this returning tax again. There is a reason for this thing. If you, by the time you get to a system and then this was not checked, you see error that will come up. Now I won't test all those error message, but I'll just leave this to this. This is valid time for this returning tax type. That's what this thing is. I'll just save. I'll save this. And saving it because I've assigned it to my company code, I'll be able to see it on my company code when I intend to use it. So you also need to activate external withholding tax, right? If you don't activate it for your company code, then you won't be able to perform that transaction. DA01, so I need to click on extend withholding tax. I'll save it. It will throw me an error message, and I'll click on this. I'll continue, and then I'll go out of the screen. Right? So now I've extended my return tax. I've activated my return tax and I've extended it, right? And now for reports, for posting now. Posting is that you're saying how should the return tax be paid? Like define accounts for return tax to be paid over. You have to assign an account to this. Now, like I said, we've not created our chart of account, so we can't really create. We don't have any GL yet, so we can't assign. So let's leave this for now and let's see if we can come back there and then do that. So that's for doing tax type, extended doing tax and all that. So I think we'll be able to do a lot on the financial accounting global setting. There are some other things, but we'll not be dwelling much on it. So let's quickly go to general ledger accounting. On general ledger accounting, what we'll do now, let's define our chart of accounts, master data, GL account, then preparation, then edit chart of account lists, right? I know I'm being fast, but you need to understand that there are series of video that I've done on this part. This is just, I just want to take 1 hour to just redo a straightforward video. That's what I'm doing here. So you click on new entry, and then you put your chart of accounts. I'll be using DA01, right? So that I won't forget. Then I'll say, let me just say DA01. Then I'll just simply say chart of accounts. Okay, let me change this one to we could say, right? And the language will be EN, which is English. The length of the GL, I will say 6. The length of the GL, I want it to be 6. Currently, I will not do anything group at chart of accounts. I will not do any configuration of limits. Also, I'll leave it like this and I'll save it. Right, I'm saving it. So we'll be able to define a chart of accounts for our business, right? And then we'll go back and then assign the chart of accounts to the company code, right? So again, I'll do this and then assign DA01 to it, and then I'll save it. Okay, now I've assigned the chart of accounts to the company code, right? And then I'll just need to quickly go to define accounting group, right? Now, accounting group, what account group means is that how do you intend to structure your accounts? Like, do you want to have an asset, liability, equity, and what have you expense and all that? In some companies, their accounting group is lengthy, but I won't do that. What I'll just do is to limit it to just asset, equity, liability, and expenses, right? I'll just do that so that we understand the concept because I'm taking it from the structure or from the accounting equations, which is asset equal to equity plus liability, right? I'm adding expenses to it because without expense, account is not balanced, right? So I'm adding expense to it. So what I will just do is to look for one account that has been created in the system before. I'll just select this one and then I'll copy it just for testing purpose. For your own company, you need to be robust, right? So again, DA01 is the chart of accounts we created. Okay, so sorry. So I'll just copy this. I don't want to stress myself. I'll drop it here. Oh, wow. It's here. Then you need to use 3-letter word or 4-letter word to denote the account group, which is ASS, equity, expense, liability, and then you put the description and then you put the number range, which is, I'm saying for 1 5 series, let me say 10. Let me leave this to be 10, this 3, 4, 5, 6. You can see I'm putting 6 here because I've already indicated in my chart of account that the length of the GL should be 6, right? So I'm putting 6 here because I don't want to cause confusion in the system. So for 1000 to 15999 should be asset related. Now, when I say asset related, both your current asset, no, your non-current assets, your G, all of them will fall under this place. Meaning your cash and bank and all those things will fall under this one series. In some other business, you spell it out. You say, okay, this is, you want it for non-current asset, you want this for, you spell it out. But just for sample, and that's what I'm doing this. Equity, I'll use this 3 5s. Expenditure, I'll say 6 5. Liability, I'll just say 2. I can just, let me say 2 0 3 4 5 6. Yeah, so 2 5 9. I'll just leave it as this, and then I'll copy it, and then I'll save. I'll save it. I'm saving it already. So this is fine. So for just reference purpose, let me copy and drop it on the chat box on our Excel sheet. I know I've lost track of the configuration, but sorry, don't be angry. So I'll leave it here so that if I want to reference it later. So that's that. I'll quickly go out of this screen. Data save change first. Yes, saving this. So I've saved it. So there's something called retain earning. You need to define a retain earning account. Retaining account is simply a carry forward account. I've defined my chart of accounts, then I'll just put the chart of accounts. I'll click on the green check mark. So retain earning account, like I was saying, is just a balance carry forward items, meaning that your profit and loss must flow into this account at the point of doing your carry forward, your balance carry forward transaction. That is the month end of your yearly end, your annual operation or closing activities, right? So I'll use X to denote an object, and then I'll put an account. Now, this account I've not created, right? I'll just look for, I know retain earnings should fall under equity, so I'll just pick this as to be something that I'll create later. So the system will tell me that I've not created it. I'll say yes. I'll just go ahead and save it. The system will allow me to save, and then I'll save it. I know I'm being fast and I'm not explaining in details, but if you go through some other videos, you see the extensive explanation on these things. So this has been done, and I think on preparation, I think I'm fine here. There are other configuration here, like your line item. There are some certain things you want to do here, but the basic ones, your financial statement version, like you want to create your financial statement, want to set it up. I'll not be doing all of that in this video. And then if you come to a business transaction, you'll be talking about document splitting, you're talking about some other things here, which I will not be talking about extensively. I'll just leave this part. But as for document splitting, there's something we can do on document splitting. Because the moment you activate document splitting, if you are trying to post into the system, it will throw an error. But let me leave this first and come back to it. So you see what I mean by this explanation. So I'll leave all of these parts. And then I'll quickly go to AP and AR. So because AP and AR are similar in nature, I'll just create the supplier part, which is the vendor, and then leave the customer part because they're almost the same thing. So now the explanation around this business partner is that, let me explain. Let me use this Excel sheet to explain. So before now, the structure defining it has changed. We have business partner now, business partner. Now the setup is that you define. So do I need to do? So what we need to do first let me say under AP and AR, right? What you need to do is to define account grouping. Let me say define accounts grouping. After defining the account grouping, you need to also define number range and assign the number range to the account group. Can you see what I'm talking about? So what is the account group? The account group is simply your trade vendor, your local vendor, your foreign vendor, and all that. These are the basic things you do under this part. Now, if you now go under cross-application, that is, let me say, that is business partner route. Then you also need to go and do define account group, right? And then define number range and then you assign the number range, to, don't mind my typo error, to the account group. This major thing you need to do. Now, there is another thing you need to also do under this business partner, which we'll not be doing in this video, like your business, your BPO, let me say BPO, we'll not be doing that yet. We'll just use the existing or predefined BPO in the system, like FLVN00, FLVN01, and so on and so forth, right? And so the last thing you need to do is to do mapping of, let me say, of the AP and AR uh, group to business partner group. Now, group. Now, doing this, what this thing means now, notes, let me say notes. If you don't map it, you need to say, when you are mapping it, what you are saying is that when you are mapping it, let me say, when you are mapping it, what you are saying, let me just speak. When you are mapping it, what you are saying is that the number, if you generate an account group under here as let's say 35000, right? The same should be applicable for your business partner, 3500. Remember, you created a number range here, you created another number range here. When you're creating number range in this APR, you will say you should pick externally, that this should be external extension. And this one will be internal. You prefer the system should generate it, SAP to generate. But if the number range is not the same, here, you won't be able to map it. I'm sure by the time you are doing your testing in your own various system, you see the issues. You won't be able to map it here. So you need to map it. Define account grouping, number range, define account grouping, number range, assign. They must be the same number range. They must be the same number range. I emphasize, they must be the same number range, and then you can do this. You can do this mapping. So one of the thing we have is one, let me see, A. Okay, let's say A, let's say B, right? And then C, maybe D. And then these ones will be the respective stuff you need to do, right? So let's go into the same and quickly demonstrate it. First, we are under account pay supplier. So we go to master data, we go to preparation, and then you define account group with screen layout. So we do this. Now, I won't really stress myself on this part. And I'll just click new entry, and then I'll say DA10. Let me say DA10, and I'll say trade vendor. So I'm creating, okay, fine. I have this trade vendor. Now, like I said, you have his status under for every, what do you call it? If I double click on this now, these are, what do you call it? His status that you can use, but I'm not doing that on this video. So all my intention is just to create an account group and I'll save it. I'll save. Going ahead, saving it now. So I'll go back again. Now the next thing I need to do is to what? Number range, right? If you go down, you see create number range for vendor accounts. You see create number range for vendor account. That's what you want to do, right? And then you want to come to this place and then create a number range. But note something, because this system is a cross system, as in it's an open source system, a lot of people have used this system and they created a lot, whatever number range you want to crack in your head, it has been created. And it will give you a long time to actually discover a number range that has not been created. So what I would do, I'll use a code. I'll decode it. So let me go to the separate system and see what's the decoding I want to do. The decoding is not that I'm doing a bypass tool. I'm just trying to get something that's currently in existence and map it to my own as my number range. So just so go to SAP Business Partner, go to master data synchronization, system views. So I'll just go to customer vendor, and then I'll go to business partner settings for vendor. You know, I said I'm doing for vendor, then I'll do assign keys. You may not really get this part. You have to do your personal research to get this part. And if you get it, fine. So define number assignment for direction to vendor. So what I'll do is just look for one. Okay, we have 1997. Okay. So let me see. So I'll just look for something that is working. I have this. This is working. So okay, like I said, let me quickly look for something more 1990. Okay. Okay, fine. It's okay. So what I'll do is I've seen one already. I've seen one that I can use. I have this, right? So what I'll just do is to check. You can see this is check. So the logic I'm doing is that this is check and same number, right? Because it's check and same number, meaning that the number range are the same. So what I'll just do is to quickly go and see the number range that was used. So I'll go to this part now. This setting, number range and grouping. Okay, now let me go to this part. I'll just go to this part, grouping, and then I'll click on this, and I can see it's PV. PV is what was used, right? So what I'll just do, I'll go back to my own listing and check for BP. I can't distinguish. So let's leave this for this long talk, and then I'll just go ahead and assign it to my account grouping. So my account grouping is what D810, right? I'll put PV. I'll save it. So I expect that PV has been created in the number range in this part, right? I expect PV has been created, and then I'll just what I'll also now do is to go to let me close this part now since I was assuming it has been created. So let me go to so now I will not create a number range here. Like I'm assuming PV has been created, right? And I'll just go define grouping and assign number range again. Now I'll create my grouping, just a new entry. So the grouping will be DA. I'm using DA10 too. I'll say DA10 and then I'll say BP trade vendor. Let me say BP trade vendor. Can you see the name I'm using? I'm saying BP underscore trade vendor, right? And I'll put PV again as a number range. I'll save it. Now, there's something I need to take note of. Under this part, under this account payable and receivable, I said we need to ensure that one is externally created, right? And the other one is internally. I'm sure that's what I did, but let's see again as create number range for vendor. So let's see. I'll show you what I meant by that. Let me go to that PV. I'm sure it has been created, but let me just get to the roots of it so that this will fine. So PV. You can see a lot of numbering has been created, right? So just quickly look for PV. Have I passed P? PRST, I think I've passed P. Okay. Okay, this is PV. Can you see this PV? You can see this is saying externally. You should click externally. And you can see the number range 48 something. Maybe I should just take so that you see what I'm talking about. Select. I'll just drop it on this Excel sheet and so okay. Okay, so this is the number range, right? So let me quickly, so that's for that. Now, I've also created my group here and I've assigned the number range. That's the number range, but I assume that the number range has been created. Now, the next thing I need to do, like I said, is to map them as same number, right? Is to map them as same number. Let me go down. So good. I'm here now. So I need to go to define number range assignment for direction BP to vendor. That's where you need to go to. Define number assignment for direction BP to vendor. So this is where I will indicate that my vendor, my supplier, and my business partner should be the same. The number, what I mean that the number that will be generated as business partner and the what they call it should be the same. So I'll click on new entry and D810 is what I created. You see, this one now, this grouping is the one I created under BP. Now I'll put the one I created under APA. Can you see? These are the changes. Under APAR, I name it to be trade vendor. Under BP, I name it to be what? BP trade vendor. You can see they are different, right? I just use the same code. Now I'll need to click save as number. If they are not same, the system will not allow you to save it. That's just trick. Now, because they are saying the system is allowing me to say, fine, I'm done with my business partner configuration. I don't want to go into the details. I've done a video around business partner from top to bottom. You can check it. But this is just to quickly create something so that we are fine. So that's for APAR. I said I will not be doing anything on customer because the same thing as. So what we just quickly do, we started this stuff around 1:30, if I'm correct, and now this 2:30, 1 hour as well. So let's quickly do asset accounting, right? And then we'll not test and see if we have time to test. So let's go ahead. Let's go ahead. Financial accounting, and then I'll go to asset accounting straight. So asset accounting. Now, for asset accounting, the major items on asset accounting is that you need to create an asset class, right? Because imagine you want to create an asset code, because those are prerequisites or business process to create an asset. You need to create an asset class, company code. Now, we already have company code, but we don't have any asset class. So you need to create one. So let's quickly, but before you create an asset class, the first thing you need to do is to create your depreciation area. So go to organization structure, check country setting, copy reference chart of depreciation area. Then I'll click on copy reference chart of depreciation area. Then I'll click on this copy item. And then I'll put from what depreciation area do I want to copy for. Let me say this, and then DA01. Yeah. So my chart of depreciation will be DA01. I'm copying from 1991 chart of depreciation that has been created in the system before now. So continue. And the system will prompt me if I'm to copy the do you really want to transport number range? I'll say yes. But in your own case, you can say no. You just create your number range manually by yourself. So I don't want to go through that route, and that's one fine. So I'll go back and then I'll click on this specified description, whatever. I'll click on this chart, I'll say DA01. That's my chart observation, and then I'll remove it to download the. So that's changing of description. I'll save it. I'm using Ctrl S to save it. I'm going out and then going back. Then I'll need to click on copy delete depreciation area, and then I'll click on this check mark, and then I'll see the depreciation area that's been created. So I copied from the existing depreciation area. So this was created. I'm using the same thing, so I don't need to stress myself. I'll just save for download, right? So I'll save it. So this structure, there's a structure here. I'm saying this is my depreciation area. Depreciation should be posted. That's, you need to check it. And then the principal should be IFRS. The target ledger should be 0L, and you need to post the rate time. This explanation, I think it's not enough, but you should take it as that because of the time constraint we have. So I'll just go ahead and close this part. Now, the next thing you need to do is assign your chart position to your company code, right? And then I'll just click on copy, find my depreciation, my company code, then I'll assign my depreciation area, which is DA01. Now, if there are any error, the system will give you. Now, it's telling me that input task code for non-taxable transaction. So I understand this error. So let me just now click on this question mark to see the error details. And then you see something like proceed or whatever. So there's nothing like proceed. Okay, fine. To fix this error message, let me go out of this screen. Save change first node. So let me go, okay, let me use this one. So there's something called non-taxable deduction, not taxable code. So no taxable code are code that a transaction or not taxable transaction are transaction that you do not want what do you call it, tax to be taken from it, right? I don't know if I'm correct on that explanation, but I think because I'm doing things and then so you go to posting. That's where you see assign task code for non-taxable transaction. This is the error message. So the moment I do that and assign it to my company code, I'll be fine. So I'll just go to my company code and then I'll assign it. So let me go inside and see ones that have been created. Okay, we have I0. I'm sure we have O0. Okay, it's saying that it has not been created. So let me look for it. Okay, it's O. Okay, fine. I'll save it. I'll save it now. So I'll go back to this part, assignments, and assign it sort of function again. Oh God, somebody is there. But I was the one. So where was I? Let me see. Okay, let me go outside of this place and do it again. Let me go inside again. So fine, I'll click on position. Then I'll put this and I'll save it. You can see this error has gone, right? So I have a series where I show all the error messages that you can encounter in SAP. Check my YouTube channel, right? So, and that's that for assign. Now, the next thing we need to do is what? To create asset class. Let's quickly create an asset class. But what are the prerequisites to create an asset class? You need to create account termination. So let's create an account termination. Let me just see something that I can use instead of creating a new one. Okay, let me just create a new one. That's the case. So what I'll do is that since I've said I'll use my GL as a guide on how my account termination should be. So since I've said I'm using one series, I'm using one series. Where is it? One series. So let me just assume that 14000 from to something is my asset. So let me copy this one and use as my account permission. New entry, I'll say this, and then I'll say office. Let's say office with office equipment. Okay, for downloading, right? I'll say it. So this will be my account termination. You see where we use account termination, right? You see that. So I created 1.4. I need to also okay, fine. Now you have to also create screen layout. So screen layout as per SAP. So you can't create a new one. There are default screen layout already created by SAP. So what you can do is to copy from that one. So let me copy from this one, copy from this, and then I'll put 4 numeric keyword. And then let me just say 140. And then I'll say office quickness. Okay, I'll just say for download. I'll save it. So remember 1400 is our screen layout. Now, the next thing we need to do is to what? Is to define asset class. So I'll just go ahead and define asset class. I'll click new entry. We can see these are the prerequisites. So I'm using this. Let me see. Okay, I'll be using this as my asset class. I'll use this again. D for download. This will be my long test, and this will be my short test. Account termination. Remember when we create our account termination, we use the same thing as this, and our screen layout is the same as this. Number range, I'll use 01 as my number range. I won't stress myself around it. And I'll say no AUC or summary management of AUs. I'll leave it as this. I'll click enter on my keyboard, and then you can see because we have created account termination, it has come up. Because we have created screen layout, it has come up. I'll just save it. Okay, so that's for asset class. So we've created asset class. Now the next on the list is to specify how the asset class is integrated to the decision area. So let's quickly do that. That's the next on the list. So I'll go to general validation and correct. Then determine the decision area. This is it. Determine the decision area in asset class. How do you want the asset class to be determined? How do you want the decision to be determined on the asset class? That's what this thing is. Now, what's our asset class? Our asset class is 1.4. I'm correct, this one, 1.4.0, which is this for Dangote. Select it and click on the decision area. So this is how you indicate that the decision area should be what should be, or the asset class should be determined, should be identified with the decision area. The screen layout, I'll just click on the drop down and I'll select main assets, which is this. I'll select this one, and then I'll click enter on my keyboard. So I will select this area deduction, this area deactivate. This is you are deactivating it, so I will uncheck it. And then the decision key. I'll use predefined decision key. I'll use this straight line. I'll use this straight line. I will explain this division key. You can create a new one for yourself or your company, but I won't do that on this video. I think I'll just so useful life. On useful life, I'll just say maybe 1 year. Let me just say 1 year, right? Just to demonstrate what we intend to do. So I'll just save it. So you can say I've assigned useful life. I've assigned the decision key to this asset class, right? So these are the major things that we need to do here. I'll just save it and then we're fine. So I'll go outside. There are some other configuration depending on the nature of the business, right? But I won't really do any further thing on this asset class, right? The next thing I also need to do is to integrate it. How do I want uh, general ledger to be integrated? So you need to integrate general ledger to asset accounting. That's what you are doing here. So, so something you can do, you can ask. So two things you need to do. There's something called technical clearing account. So technical clearing account is acting like an intermediary between the assets and the GL, right? So you need to define something here. If you don't do that, it will throw you an error. And let me just see if I can show you those error message. But I think, but no, I don't want to show error message on this video. I just want to define the configure and then go ahead. So if you come to this place, you define technical clearing for integrated asset accounts, and then you just click on new entry, and then you put your chart of account, which is DA01. And then the account will be a technical clearing, a liability account. Let's look for a liability account. Let's say 20 something. Let's say this is, we have not created it and the system will throw us an error. We can see that SKA this has been created. So what can we do? Let's create one. Okay. So let me create a GL. We have not created any GL since it did a master data thing. So let me create one. So I'll just change this. I'm on this company code, so I'll change it. What is happening? So let me just I don't know. Sorry, so sorry for that. So I'll just switch company code. I'll say DA01. It's my company code, right? So now what this thing is saying is that okay, let's do something. Okay, let's do something just to settings, hierarchy display and correct, and then do not display hierarchy. So click this. Also, what I want to do is to ensure that it's much easier. But I won't love it. I like it to be in hierarchy form. So my company code is DA01. And I said I want to create a technical clearing account, right? Okay, for sugar. So I'll do this. Now I'll click enter on my keyboard. This account has not been created. This GL, I'll just create. And then I'll pick it's a liability, it's a basic balance sheet item. So I'll also click. You can see the things we created is coming here now. So I'll just say technical clearing. Okay. Technical clearing for assets. So I'll create this. I'll go to control data and then I'll assign it as an asset because it's an asset related control. And then I'll look for G67 if I'm correct. Okay, these are the fee status group we created for now. So remember, so 67 is reconciliation accounts. I'll just leave it as that. And then I'll save it. Okay, now that we have saved it, we have created a GL, right? And then let's go back to this and see what happens now. I'll click enter on my keyboard. You can see the system is allowing me. So I'll save it because I've created a GL, right? So there are other things. There are one configuration that is required again, assign GL accounts, right? This one is where we call where you do mapping of your accumulated depreciation, your depreciation expense account, your APC GL to asset. Can you see? So this is where you map your GL. So now when you're posting an asset, you don't put GL manually. It's automatically flows, right? So all you just need to do is select your chart of account and click on account termination, and then look for your asset class, right? So asset class is one for something good. Our account termination, rather, our account, you remember we created an account termination, which is this. Then you select this account termination and click on balance sheet item, right? So now your balance sheet, this will be your GL. This will be your GL. We have not created a GL, but I'll just assign. I know this will be the GL. GL is that what we are saying here is that you create different asset code. I don't want to explain much on assets. You create different asset codes. We are talking about office equipment now. So there's a chair, there is this, there's that, tables, whatever. Now you have gone ahead to create a table. You have gone ahead to create an asset code for table, meaning that you want to purchase a table. So that table will have an asset code. That code will be like a number on the assets. So you will have multiple asset code Like you can have 1,000 assets code, but whatever you are doing on those assets will be synchronized into a GL called this GL, this asset GL, right? So I'll just assign it to this place. Let me click enter and see what happens. Account define not. So this GL has not been created, and so that's why we're getting this error message. So, like I said, I love to see my. Let me just put the GL now, and then come to it's a balance sheet item because of assets. So assets, right? So I'll just say office MC office equipment as GL, right? The video is becoming lengthy, and I do not intend to. So account control data is an asset, so it needs to be a recon GL, right? It needs to be a recon GL. I'll just do the same as this. I'll save it, right? Then a couple of, so I'll click enter on my keyboard. You can see office equipment has come up, right? Now we also need to create an expense GL. So 65000, I'll use 6500 as expense. Okay, it will be non-operating expense income account, like operating expenditure. So I'll take it as expenditure. So I'll just say office equipment expense. So this will be the depreciation area for this, right? And I'll come to control data. You don't need to do anything like reckoning or whatever. So you can just go inside and look for a cost account. Okay, fee status group and assign. I'll save it. Good. Now there's one other GL we need to create, which is we need to create accumulated depreciation. So I'll use one to denote accumulated depreciation, which is this. Let me say one. Right. I'll come to the description by say balance sheet item. It's an asset to is a contra asset account. So I'll just say account deep uh, office equipment. Okay, equipment. Right. I'm sure we'll understand this. Then it's also an asset, so I'll leave it as asset. Then I'll also put this as record account. I'll save it. So all of these are things we need to assign in this place. So you have your balance sheets. Now your accumulated depreciation you need to assign to. So you come to this place, depreciation area here. So you see account deep account. So you assign this one. Now expense account, accumulated depreciation. Where's the expense account? Expense account for ordinary depreciation, which is this, which is 6500 something. You see, if I click enter, you see what the account deep and office equipment. There are other things you can also do, right? But we'll not be doing that on this video. So I'll just go ahead and save it. With this, I can create an asset code. I can also do acquisition on an asset, right? So let's take it one by one now. So let's create another GL. Let's say maybe 4500 something. Let's say 24502. So I'll name it. Oh God, what's happening? I'll name it. I'll create it as a bank GL or outgoing bank GL. Let me see. Balance sheet account. And then I said it's an asset. I'll just say outgoing and sending back. Sorry, sending bank. Right. So control data, I'll just leave all of these parts. But because it's an outgoing account, you need to check open item, my names, and I need to come to bank. Bank. Obligated due dates, valid dates. Okay, let's use this. And then let me just save it. Right. So we have this. So let's do some basic testing. Let's do some basic testing. Okay, let me use this script. So first of all, let's test LB50, which is journal to journal, right? So let's say today's date is 01/11, right? 11, sorry, 2025. And then okay, fine. So reference, I'll just say testing, I'll say testing. Now GL to use. Let me go inside the system and see GL to post a journal to journal, right? Chart of accounts, change. Okay, now put something. We're in a different company code. So I need to change this company code to our company code, which is DA01, right? So we're in our company code now. So I think we're good. So let's do something 15. Okay. So this will be the reference. So let's go inside again and look for our GL. I'll go inside and then I'll select. So let me do between outgoing and office. So I need to create another expense account. Let's see. So let, let me call this one. Let me call this one maybe traveling expenditure. Let's say traveling expense. Okay, that will be an expense account. So okay, all of this, I will not do anything much here. I'll just okay, let me select a cost account. Selecting a cost account, and then I'll save it. Oh shit, something is wrong there. Okay, cost account, then I've saved it. So I've saved it. So this will be my second GL, which is I'm posting it in a bank, which is not always correct, but I'll just do that for this sake. So 100. Okay, there's an error message which is 01. So this 01 is number range. 01, you remember when we were talking about document type that 01 is assigned in the document type SA. Because we're doing a journal to journal, SA is the default document type for journal to journal. So what we just need to do is to quickly go to FBN1. So the company code is DA01, right? And then we put the interval, which is 01, 01, 2025, 01, 01. So I'll use this and I'll save it. But what is this? Okay, so I'll save it. I'll click enter on my keyboard. You can see the system has allowed me. I'll simulate it and then I'll post. No, yeah. So I talk about this document splitting. That if it's circulated in the system, then it will be an issue. Can you see document splitting, whatever? So we need to classify GL account for document splitting. So I'll just do for all of it. You can see if you come down to document splitting, because it's activated in the system and this system is a central system. So we need to do it. Right. I'll just continue. Now click new entry. And so let me just go to my Excel sheet where I have all my, so I'll copy this. So from this account to this account is an asset. So I'll select balance sheet, balance sheet account, right? This is an expense account. This will be the expense account. This will be a balance sheet account. So this will be an expense account 65 series. So let me look at the expense. So this category, so let me just not say much here. I'll see it. Right. I'll just go back to, we got an error, then we came to this place and see what was the error message saying there's no item category assigned to account this. And that's what I've just done. In some other video, I was explain the integrating about this stuff. Okay. So it's fine. I think let me just simulate again, see what happens. Okay, let me go back. What's happening? Okay, I'll just simulate again and save it. Okay, the system is still throwing us the error because we need to go outside and go inside again. And then I'll go fast this time. Okay. So this will be credits, this will be debits, 100, 100. I'll just simulate again and see what happens. I'll save it. Boom. You can see this has been created. Right? So we have done AB. So let's do AB 60. That's invoice. Let's do AB 60. Now for invoice, we have not created a supplier. So let's create a supplier, right? Let's create a supplier. To create a supplier is EP. So I'm doing fast. So I'll just click on organization. So I'll come to this grouping. So I need to select a grouping. So the grouping is DA01. So, okay, BP trade. Can you see? BP trade. That's what I created, right? So normally you create a business partner and then you extend it to the company code. That's the way it should be, right? I'll click company. I'll just say ICRA Consulting. Let me just leave it as this. Then sort of searching. I'll just leave it as ICRA. So streets, I'll say TY Danjuma, 45. Postal code, I'll say 999 something. City, I'll say FCT. NGN region, I'll just say FC. I'll click enter on my keyboard. I'm sure I've been, so language, I'll put EN, right? I'll click enter. I won't put anything payment transaction and all of these things. I won't do that. I'll just save it. I'm saving now. And boom, we've created a business partner for it. Something. Now we need to extend it to company code, right? So I'm looking for FL. So what I'll just do is to click on this pencil and then click down FLV, okay, FLV. So we have FLV. So there is one here. So I'll just use this one for FLV and O. Mhm. So there's a lot of FLV here. So what I'll just do is to use this. I'll use this one. I'll use this FLVN00, and then I'll see the company code button, right? And then I can. So, but in case you find yourself in a company and you cannot be selecting FLVN, you can go ahead and create a role. You create a unique role for the company, right? So I'll just click on company code, and then I'll put my company code, right? So you can create a role. You can. That's what I said. I will not create. You can create one for your company. So the company code is DA01. Now you see that this is showing external. That's supplier, but this is showing business partner. This is the difference. If the number are not the same, you see a different number here and you see a different number here. You can do that testing when you are testing your system. So I'll find a reconciliation. Now we have not created a reconciliation account for business partners, so we need to create one. Oof, I've done a lot here today. So let's see 2010. That will be this will be our record account. So let me enter is a balance sheet item. Yeah, is a liability. So just a trade vendor. Oh God, my system is almost going. Trade. Okay. So I'll just select vendor because it's a recon account. So I'll pick this 57, which is recon account. I'll save it. Now I know I've explained this how these GLs are created with recon, the ones with no recon, right? So now let's go to this place and select. So if I click enter, I should be able to see my trade vendor opening or showing here, right? So the system is getting still now. We're almost rounding up. Just I'm just rounding up. I just want to do all those testing and then we're fine. Gosh, oh my God. So the moment we are done with this part, right? So let me see. So let's create an asset code while we are waiting for supplier to. Okay. Now what we just want to do is to have our supplier, right? And the system is rolling. So let's do it first. So what's happening? System is getting slow. The system is getting slow at this moment. Okay, fine, it's fine now. Okay, so trade vendor recon. I'll not do anything here with only tax. Okay, let me put with only tax so that at least we see the functionality of the only tax. Do I need to show it? No, no, no. I'll just, but maybe in some other video I'll show the doing tax functionality. But for now, let me just set this entry and then go. On my events, I'll save it. Show this as save. So if you go back to, sorry, that supplier that, oh shit, this that was not creating before, you can see it as generated because we said you should externally generate, right? So that's that for this. So let me quickly do that same I'm talking about LB60. So we want to create an invoice, right? So this is the invoice we created. The invoice there should be 11/2025. Say testing amount, let me just say 100 naira, right? I'll not put input tax, and even if you put in that, but I won't do that. But even if you put it, you can save this 7, you can save it 7, and it's not defined the company code NN01. This is not defining company code. Okay, because we're in a different company code, so we need to switch. Let's switch company code. The company code is what DA01, right? So you can see the company code has changed DA01. So the supplier, like I said, so the supplier is this. So reference amount, the text, the most interesting. I can put V7, but again, number range issue. So number range FBN1 is 19, right? So let's go. The code is FBN1, DA01, 19. Sh- See, open this down. And it's up to me. Okay. Let me check this. Maybe in one. Okay, DA01. Okay. Okay, I'll just leave the part to me. 19, 25, 19, 19. I'll just leave this. I'll save it. Good. Okay, so let me now MV60, right? And then let me leave all of this and then put this account. Put there, you can see what happens. I'll simulate. So this is just an invoice, and then I think I'm fine. I'll save it. Okay, you can see we have saved. So we need to do test invoicing. So that's that for invoicing. Let's quickly do an asset. I know we have not done payments, but let's see, we'll do payment too. So we need to select an asset first. We are creating an asset first. So let's go inside. So the asset file we created is office equipment. You can correct for not good. So it is it. And then we click enter. Oh, there will be an error message 01. So for assets, we have not created the number for assets. To create a number for asset is A08. So the 01. So 01, you remember the 01 was the number we assigned to the asset class. If I'm correct. So save it and save it. Then I'll go back. Okay, let me just go back again and see. So there'll be oh shit. A01. There's one other thing we need to do, right? Which is this error, information about last fiscal year. So the error message is around FA underscore CMP. Right. So what we just need to do there is to click this, click on edit, and 2025, save it. Right. Let's go back to our asset code now. Click enter, and then you can create your asset. So for furniture, let's say table. Let us say table. I'll not do anything on. So I'll leave the registration key, and this should be 1 year. I'll leave this. I'll save it. Right. I'll save it. You can see we have saved, what do you call it? We have created an asset code. Now you need to acquire the asset. You can acquire the asset through F-90, right? Go to F-90, 01, 11, 2025. You can see document ID has come up, and then you can put reference here, you go reference here, and come here. So the first thing, let's go into the system and get a supplier. We created just one supplier, so let's use that supplier, which is this one. Right, and then let's go inside. let's say 1000, right? Let's say 1000, and then let's say table, right? Now, 70 is what we are using, and the asset code is what you paste here, asset code. And then you put transaction type. Let's say transaction type I'll use is 100. I'll click enter. Then I'll put star here just to fetch the previous item. I'll simulate. Right. And here you have it, right? You can see what is coming up here. This is the technical clearing account. This is the asset code, and this is the value. And this 70, which is posting key for asset debit. 31 is posting key for credit of supplier. So I'll post it, and you can see we have posted, right? Now there's something I need to show you. 02. Sorry. So I want to show you the assets, right? Now, because we have acquired the assets, let's go to asset one. So if you come down here, you see capitalization date because this is the date we acquire the assets. Same goes for the position area, this. So if you go to asset value, you'll be able to see what was acquired into the asset code, right? So this is the asset code now. 1000, you'll be wondering why was this 667, right? So let me demonstrate what this thing is. So you have 1000. You have 1000. And so when you divide this by 12, you have this, right? You have this. When you divide this by this, so let's now assume, sorry, hold on. Okay, we have this too. Now, we acquired this asset in November, so therefore, let's say this is November and this is December, right? So meaning that if we are depreciating in the year 2025, right? Sorry, November, December would amount to what? Say November plus December will be what? This depreciation plus this, which will give you 166.67. So that's what you have here. 166 point what? 0.67. That's at the end of this 2025, what you have is what? 167 depreciated. Right? That's what this thing simply means. Right? So if you go to posted value, you see planned depreciation, which is this one, 833, 833, 334, which is similar to this. You get? So these are planned depreciation, and upon running your depreciation, this and this will be posted, right? So let's go and assume we want to check, let me run that screen. Okay. Now, the screen. So let's see. Okay. So to check asset register, AR01 is used. Let's just put the asset class and execute and see what we have in the system. So what do we have? We have a table which was created assets, right? And it's going to this GL14 series. Acquisition is 1000, account depreciation is 1667, book depreciation, which is this minus this, will give you this at the end of the year, right? And like I said, we have not run depreciation. If you have to run depreciation, EFAB, AFAB is what you use in run depreciation. So all you just need to put your company code, your fiscal year, and the period that you want to run depreciation. 11 is what we want to do. And then if you go ahead, execute, interval, okay, 05. So what we just need to do here is to find, uh, but first, before I go, I need to also show you this before I go. So, when I was showing you posted value, this is still showing yellow. It has not been posted, right? It's showing planned depreciation. At the end of the day, you see that by the time we run our depreciation, you see how we posted it. So let's check. So year 08, we have an error of number range. So let's create that 05, 05, 5, 05, 9. Okay, I'll save it. So let's go back again to that depreciation. Let's click enter. RFB leg. RFB leg is okay. RFB leg is number range. Okay. Okay. Is 05. 5 9. Okay, 7 weeks. Inside. Click enter now and see. So it's telling me that already you want to continue. I say yes. So I just want to see if the asset has an error message or it doesn't. So you can see it's showing that there's no error message, right? I'll go back and then select this test run, and then run it, execute at the background, right? Program, executing background. And then I'll just pick, okay, I'll pick this print. Oh, sorry. P01, right? I'll say immediately, click on this, click enter on the keyboard and click on immediately, and then save it. So I think we're fine now. You should have gone. If you want to check SM30, I'm correct. No, SM30 correct. Going to be correct. I don't want to go through finding that stuff now. So let's go back to our assets and refresh. You see this thing will change to this particular one will change to posted. So let's see. And then I'll go to posted item. Then I'll come to this place. As you can see this is screen, which is posted 11. Can you see the difference? So this is the entire structure as per asset accounting and the entire configuration that you can do. So I think with this basic configuration, you'll be fine with any system. And thank you very much. We have spent a lot of time on this. So thank you. Bye-bye.